It's time for Yang News of the Day, episode 12 for a Friday, June 28th, 2019. On today's Yang News of the Day, I will be going over Andrew Yang's debate stage performance from last night's debates in Miami, Florida. And I will also be going over some tweets that he sent out today about his performance. So stay tuned. Thank you for being here. Let's get into it. So, the day finally came and went. Andrew Yang had his debate stage debut. And, it wasn't the best. But he did get some key issues out there. He got a lot of his talking points out there. He talked about his flagship proposal of universal basic income, which is $1,000 a month for everyone over the age of 18. He talked about how he's going to pay for it with a value-added tax. He talked about the trickle-up economy he wants to build by putting buying power back into the hands of everyday Americans via UBI. He talked about automation. He talked about how that's the reason why Donald Trump won in 2016 is because we automated away 4 million manufacturing jobs in the swing states that Donald Trump won. He got a lot of the nuts and bolts of what he talks about on a regular basis into the debates. But other than that, it was kind of thin. It just didn't turn out good for him. And the debate was wild. It was wild, even more wild than the first night. People talking over each other, yelling. It was very discombobulated. People jockeying for position and dialogue. It was a mess. Not the best place for someone like Andrew Yang to have a debate. It just wasn't. But when he did have these 2 or 3 questions, he got the nuts and the bolts of his policies out. Okay, and he actually got some additional stuff I wasn't expecting. He actually called out Russia on their hacking of our elections in 2016. He actually talked about China and how Trump's tariffs and trade wars with China is counterproductive. So we got to call Donald Trump out on that, which is a nice balance to his economic message. So it's nice to have some world events and foreign policy stuff mixed in there. But, his influence was minimized. His presence there was minimized. There was even a hashtag going around that was trending called hashtag Let Yang Speak, because the moderators weren't calling on him for questions, so but also there was this debate that Andrew Yang's mic was turned off. It's almost like a conspiracy now, but I think he even alluded that his mic was turned off at least one point in the debate, so that's kind of an interesting thing we need to find out about. But just overall, it wasn't good. But I know Andrew Yang will learn from it. He'll get back on the horse. He'll show up in Detroit and learn from the things in this debate that he needs to change. So I don't doubt him. I'm not weary. I'm not. I really think he'll learn from this. So with that being said, let's get into some Yang tweets that he sent out today. He sent out a succession of 4 tweets about the debates. I'll go over them with you here. Tweet number 1, quote, "Some reflections on my first debate. First, very glad to have the chance to represent everyone on stage. Truly a privilege, and thank you for making it happen." End quote. Yes, you made it happen. You donated to Andrew Yang. You got him to his donor threshold. You're the reason why Andrew Yang was up there. And I donated to him too, and I can claim that right as well. So he thanks you for that, and that's awesome. Okay, the next tweet. Quote, "I feel bad for those who tuned in to see me and support me, that I didn't get more airtime. Will do better. My mic being off unless called on didn't help. And glad to have another opportunity in July and afterwards." End quote. So yeah, there's an issue about his mic being off. I really got to figure out what's going on here. But yeah, so Andrew Yang will have another opportunity in July, and I think he's on the cusp of qualifying for the fall debates. He needed less than 2,000 donations the other day to reach that threshold of 130,000. So he's up for the next two debates at least. So he's got other shots down the pike here. Okay, next tweet. Quote, "This format is not a natural one for me at all. It requires specific behaviors that feel very forced." End quote. Totally true. Like you could just see it wasn't natural for Andrew Yang. He's a more mild, a more meek person, a more one-on-one type of person. You know, it was wild. That debate was wild. People talking all over each other, just discombobulated, disjointed arguments, and it was a mess. And it was not the best place for someone like Andrew Yang to get anything done. And he said at the end, the behaviors feel very forced. And it's just, if it feels forced, you're not going to do it, okay? You're going to instantly reject it because you want to do things that are natural. You want to talk in ways that are natural. And I could tell his body language was very stiff. He did not seem like the Andrew Yang I've been following for the past 6 to 8 months at least. In interviews where he's loose, he's jovial, he laughs a lot, and he's just generally more relaxed. It just wasn't his environment. Okay, in the fourth tweet here, quote, "I'm glad that the network switches and we will get different moderators each time," end quote. That's like a dig at MSNBC because they were horrible. Just Chuck Todd and Rachel Maddow, freaking horrible. The whole thing was horrible, but they didn't make it better. they were just part of the problem, and that's good that they're going to be, switched out, and the networks will change. So that's a good thing looking forward, because I can tell he didn't like them. I don't like Chuck Todd. I really don't like Chuck Todd, and I really don't like Rachel Maddow either. Okay, after the Russiagate stuff, go away. Let's see. Do I have another tweet here? Okay, there's another tweet. Quote, "I stood at the center of the political universe last night and did not come away encouraged by our future. Will do my best to change that." Okay, so he recognizes this is a very perilous time in our politics, and he wants to be a part of that. He wants to change that, and I think he can with UBI and the tenets of human-centered capitalism with the reframing of GDP. See, I want him to talk about that stuff too. I think that's some really good stuff. These debate structures are just horrible. They're just flat out horrible. You do not get to break down policy substance. You get to say what you're for. You don't get to say why. You don't get any. You just don't get to go deep with policy in these debates, and it bothers me as someone who is policy oriented. So I'm sure a lot of you can share that frustration. Okay, last tweet here. Quote, "Overall, I'm pumped for what we have accomplished and even more pumped to take what I have learned and to get out the message again soon." End quote. Okay. So I'm sensing some positivity here. This debate was a learning curve for Andrew Yang, and he's a quick study. And he's going to pivot. He's going to readjust. He's going to formulate in July, so he's more effective than he was here. And he's going to improve. He's someone who does learn, adapts, and improves. I can just see that. That's part of his mindset. This is part of who he is. So it should be no different for him in the next debate. So those large things that I'm expecting for Andrew Yang, that we are expecting out of Andrew Yang, are in the mail. They're just not formulated yet. So there's no need to stress. There's no need to worry. There's no need to be cynical. I'm not seeing it. I'm too optimistic in general, but I just know he's going to come back and be better than he was in these debates in Miami. So looking forward to the July debates in Detroit, Michigan, and a new and improved Andrew Yang shall emerge. Thank you for tuning in to Yang News of the Day, episode 12 for Friday, June 28th. Let me know what you think Leave a comment down below, like, share, and subscribe.